From the PEP Radio Newsroom, this is the afternoon news for October 27th, 2025. These are the stories we are covering at this hour. Former President Joe Biden called these dark days as he urged Americans to stay optimistic and not to check out in response to what he says are attacks on free speech and tests on the limits of executive power by President Donald Trump. Since its founding, America served as a beacon for the most powerful idea ever in government in the history of the world, Biden said. The idea is stronger than any army. We're more powerful than any dictator. Biden, age 82, speaking publicly for the first time since completing a round of radiation therapy for an aggressive form of prostate cancer, addressed an audience in Boston on Sunday night after receiving the Lifetime Achievement Award from the Edward M. Kennedy Institute. He said America depends on a presidency with limited power, a functioning Congress, and an autonomous judiciary. With the federal government facing its second longest shutdown on record, Trump has used the funding lapse as a way to exercise new command over the government. Friends, I can't sugarcoat any of this. These are dark days, Biden said before predicting the country would find our true compass again and emerge as we always have, stronger, wiser, and more resilient, more just, so long as we keep the faith. Biden listed examples of people who are standing their ground against threats from the current administration, citing the example of federal employees who resign in protest and universities and comedians that have been targeted by Trump. The late-night hosts continue to shine a light on free speech, knowing their careers are on the line, he said. Biden also shouted out elected Republican officials who vote or openly go against the Trump administration. America is not a fairy tale, he said. For 250 years, it's been a constant push and pull, an existential struggle between peril and possibility. He finished the speech by telling people to get back up. Turning to other news, Indiana Republican Governor Mike Braun called Monday for state lawmakers to return to Indianapolis for a special session to redraw the state's congressional boundaries, escalating a national fight over mid-cycle redistricting. President Donald Trump has ramped up pressure on Republican governors to draw up new maps in an attempt to give the party an easier path to maintain control over the House in the midterms. While Republicans in Texas and Missouri have moved quickly to enact a new set of districts, and California Democrats are seeking to counter with their own redistricting plan, Indiana lawmakers have been far more hesitant to the idea and held weeks of discussion on the topic. Braun is calling for the General Assembly to convene November 3rd. It's unclear whether enough of the GOP majority Senate will back new maps. And finally, Hurricane Melissa intensified to Category 5 strength Monday as it neared Jamaica, where forecasters said it would unleash catastrophic flooding, multiple landslides, and extensive infrastructure damage. It would be the strongest hurricane to hit the island since record-keeping began in 1851. Melissa, blamed for 6 deaths in the northern Caribbean as it headed toward the island, was forecast to make landfall on Jamaica on Tuesday and then Cuba later in the day before heading toward the Bahamas, but it was not expected to affect the United States. Hannah McLeod, a 23-year-old hotel receptionist in the Jamaican capital of Kingston, said she will have to work during the hurricane, but that her husband and brother will be at her house, where they boarded the windows and she left candles and flashlights scattered throughout. Category 5 is the highest on the Saffir-Simpson scale, with sustained winds exceeding 157 miles per hour. Melissa would be the strongest hurricane in recorded history to directly hit the small Caribbean nation, said Jonathan Porter, chief meteorologist at AccuWeather. Porter said that critical infrastructure, including Jamaica's main international airport and power plants, are located along the coast in Kingston, where a storm surge of up to 13 feet was expected. This can become a true humanitarian crisis very quickly, and there's likely going to be the need for a lot of international support, Porter said in a phone interview. That's the news at this hour. If you are watching our news videos on YouTube, please be sure to subscribe to our channel. PEP Radio is available on the Live 365 app, the PEP Radio page at paequality.com, Roku, and Alexa. If you are in the Meadville area, Be sure to stop at your local Walmart and stop by the Special Olympics table at the front entrance. All donation proceeds go to benefit the Special Olympics in Meadville. Coming up next, we have the Meadville area weather forecast here on PEP Radio.